Gilead, connecting all the dots. Our software.
Usually, when I talk to people about big data, a very analytic type of data, typically numbers, pops into their head first. This is in fact where big data got its start. It was all about numeric information. It was transactional, machine-generated information that was manipulated to find correlations and trends that were meaningful to highly skilled data analysts. But the fact is that about 80% of all data available falls into a whole different realm. Let's just call it everything else data. It is not the numeric information. It's not the kind of thing that you can put into a spreadsheet and run an algorithm on it. It's information in the form of written content such as emails. It's travel information. It's Facebook and Twitter postings. It's all the unstructured content, just like the stuff we view every day on the web. What's also interesting about this everything else data is that 10 years ago we didn't know it would exist to be collected because apps like Facebook didn't exist. We didn't have smartphones or Twitter either. All of a sudden, these new information sources that we didn't anticipate having access to are not only popping up, but are downgrading the level of importance of the old content delivery channels forever, and at phenomenal rates. And so the challenge now is about how we can deal with both the analytic, numeric side and all this other type of unstructured data that is highly distributed. How we do that at the same time is what is unique about Gilead software. 3 approaches are taken to reach very large amounts of data. First, an analyst will query one data source at a time. While that works, you now have a problem to consolidate all those queries into one manageable view. Technology can help. We call this federation, which is the merging of those separate unique results, but it doesn't get you over the hump of what you need to do next. Second, another common option is to create a new data center by copying all the data into one location. That may seem like a good idea as it solves a lot of problems, but it takes a lot of time and costs a lot of money, and often exacerbates security and privacy issues. I have met customers that have spent years and millions of dollars just getting to the data consolidation part before they even start with the project. So there is inherent lag time and significant upfront costs there. In the meantime, productivity certainly suffers. The third innovative approach developed by Gilead is to virtually consolidate the data. With Gilead, you can reach all of those data types we described in real time. Gilead nodes allow you to discover and analyze data at its source within a single continuous view. Gilead software tames the biggest of big data, allowing you to find what you are looking for regardless of where it is or what it is. Within each source, data can be structured, as stored in the rows and columns in databases, or tagged on the web. Or it can be unstructured, like documents, web pages, email messages, Facebook, and Twitter feeds. The data can be under your local control or in the cloud. Whether it has an application interface or not, Gilead software can virtually merge it and allow you to discover knowledge out of all that information in all of those disparate sources. Then Gilead software dynamically, indexing on the fly, generates custom recognizers that connect the dots to provide new views of the information that allow you to discover new knowledge relationships. Analyzing it, that's what big data is really all about. Unless you can connect the dots that matter to you in ways that make sense to you, it is just more data. Gilead learns from what you ask about the data in your own conversational questions. Unlike Boolean-based search engines, putting more detail into the query box returns more relevant results, not just more results. On top of that, Gilead software takes you right to the detail in those results that matters the most to give you even more insight, saving money of course, but also precious time that can make a world of difference. Once you have reached, found and analysed your data, Gilead enables you to constantly monitor saved queries. The ability to monitor it all leverages the power of Gilead's global ranking and on-the-fly concept extraction to provide real-time alerting as information changes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Gilead software's precision is most evident in this mission-critical alerting capability. Unlike other systems that look for keywords only, Gilead's natural language discovery functionality eliminates false positives. Setting multiple alert mechanisms, such as for emails and text, etc., further supports workflow classification or other arbitrary processes triggered by new or changed content. Kiliad is a leader in data analysis across clouds, agencies, departments, and other stovepipes. The Kiliad Discovery Alert platform enables investigators, business analysts, and indeed any knowledge worker to securely reach, find, analyze, and continuously stay on top of big data, whether structured or unstructured, classified or unclassified. Through virtual consolidation of data, Kiliad helps its clients to further their knowledge discovery goals with iterative discovery on any information, anywhere. Kiliad's vision is to power the discovery of actionable insight for a better, safer world. Kiliad's mission is to enable knowledge sharing without information sharing through real-time iterative discovery and analysis technologies to rapidly solve real-world complex problems.
Find out more at www.
Well, you know, it's hard to say, and it's a subject that I'm studying myself, because there's never a happy ending with Mossad, unfortunately. But you can't blame Mossad, because the school is an old school. It's an old Russian school that suggests that once you're a Mossad agent, you're always a Mossad agent. You cannot leave, you cannot immigrate, you cannot do other things. And you choose a life and you stick with that life. And times have changed, people have changed, and people have left. And my father was the first agent who really had an issue, a medical issue. He needed some medical treatment that could only be provided in 2 hospitals abroad. And the Israeli government would not allow him to leave the country for that.
Who's got the biggest private intelligence agency in the world?
You know,
Wackenhut?
used to have. I think Wackenhut went through transition. They were merged. They became public and then start shrinking. I really don't know where they are today. We used to be fierce competitors. And it ended a few years ago where each one found its own niche, went in different directions. We stuck with a direction of, we service 3 areas only. White-collar crime fraud investigation, primarily. We're the investigators on Enron, WorldCom, Tyco, Conseco, Parmalat, all those big scandals. And we do a white-collar crime investigation. Fraud. The second area is due diligence, financial due diligence worldwide. And the third, which is the bread and butter, is asset search and recovery. We go after large debt of banks, financial institutions, insurance companies, and we find the money that was stolen and hidden somewhere offshore in safe havens, and retrieve the money back.
You follow the chain of money up the ladder, and in the book and the movie, you end up with this aristocratic French family.
Yes.
And
the group.
You end up protecting their identities and never revealing their identities to your superior.
Yeah, they still exist. I still meet with them. I still have a relationship, but that's my own.
I know you're not going to tell me who they are.
No.
Are they really French? Or
They're
are they
really
from a
French.
different country?
No, they're really French. They're really
Are they
French.
part of the Gladio network?
I can't comment on it. If I start commenting, I can also give you a hint. All I can say to you that they started their operation during the Nazi occupation of France.
I mean, if you look at the history, though, it doesn't make any sense that they're anybody but Gladio, because that's who stay behind armies, the terror network. That's what it was.
Could be.
Could be. But your relationship is good now, right? I mean,
it's a great relationship.
With the Mossad, you go to Israel.
It's a great relationship now.
Yeah.
It's.
You got paid. You got your money back.
No, I never got paid.
Pan Am 103.
Yes. Pan Am 103 was really one of the biggest cases that took a major toll on me, because that was the first political.
Said, Indira, everybody knew what ptech was about. Well, I didn't. And sure as heck the 3,000 didn't. ptech was eventually raided on December 6, 2002. And here's the story of how that happened. When I was thrown out of JP Morgan Chase at the ending of June, no one would have anything to do with me, but I was sure if we kept the investigation going, the good boys in the FBI would finally raid ptech and all would be well, because what had happened is that the I-team had commissioned an investigation in Washington, D.C. to verify the story I laid out to them. Not only had it been verified, they called me in July and said everything I had put on the table was correct and it was worse than I had laid out. They were going to air the ptech story nationwide as the lead story on the first-year anniversary of 9/11, with me in the story. There were many other networks that had gotten wind of it, and all the networks were going to run the ptech story on the first-year anniversary. However, the White House got wind of the investigation, I have proof of that, and shut the story down in late August. Around the anniversary, the first-year anniversary, persons of interest were seen leaving ptech and the country. No raids. By November, I wrote a report and threatened to send it to 10 defense agencies per week until something was done. Finally, ptech was raided on a Friday in December. But when Ari Fleischer said there was nothing wrong with ptech, I became persona non grata, blacklisted everywhere. We went to Senator Grassley's office, who created an FBI ptech file. I was debriefed at a National Threat Assessment Center, the Secret Service, who, oh, by the way, was a client of ptech, and they asked me whether ptech was the same as Promis. I knew better than to answer that, and I told them, you have a copy of the software, you tell me. References to clandestines also in operation at ptech have been made by a credible intelligence agency. Anytime we attempt to write the truth behind this, the people who are writing the truth are getting sued. The Kane Commission does not mention ptech at all. I did a number of things in my research, and when I ran into the drugs, I was told that if I mentioned the money to the drugs around 9/11, that would be the end of me. That is the current threat that I'm under, and therefore I will speak out about the drugs at another forum. I did not expect the Kane Commission to go anywhere near the FBI and ptech, but I hope all Americans will demand answers regarding the FBI and ptech. I would like to leave you with this one question. Not only why is ptech still operating, but why did Assistant U.S. Attorney Michael Chertoff state that they cannot differentiate between terrorism, organized crime, and drug dealing? And is that the reason the Kane Commission will not make terrorism financing a priority in the future? Thank you.